Here's some of the copies.
I expect
And I put them every other way, each one's a different story.
my students will be coming around with this sort of
Good.
thing.
So, judging panel over here,
Semester.
and Richard's going to join us as well.
Is Draconis key for original?
No, and I did not really want to bother.
I sent that message out.
And I pandered for nothing.
Is it, you're a judge? Is that why you're?
No, they were just messing around, they had the extra copy. Judge Well.
Other than I was on it.
Double sided.
That was me.
Figure out how to
That was
do
the
that
ones
in
that
the-
emailed to me that I.
Well, they probably didn't do it in the,
Double-sided.
yeah.
Since the DOH is back on.
The usual method of doing it is you print the first page and then look behind you. Oh,
Hello,
wow, somebody was really quick with the copies.
So, if you would like to take one of these chairs.
Alright.
Where are the jaws?
No, it's not.
I tried.
Somebody real quick with the copies. Oh, yeah, what's this one? That's mine.
That's I got it. So,
Since you've got Richard in the DOH.
well, I don't see Richard here, so I have you and not Richard. So if you want to sit there,
All right.
Morning, Keeper.
Good morning.
Who's keeper?
we will see what we get through.
Hello.
Well, last year we did like.
I apologize in advance for everything.
So, yeah. So, just to review the rules, which I just put back away somewhere.
Wait.
So, like I say, this is all just tongue-in-cheek, both from the writers as well as the judges.
Okay.
So it's trying to force creativity, having fun, because some of the judges who've joined our panel were not able to be a part of this before.
Is there another GOH person here?
Well, we were hoping to have,
There's a Richard.
yes. Would you like to swap with Richard?
Yes.
Yes.
I warmed the seat up for you.
So is,
you.
You're welcome.
is Draconis planning on coming, do you know?
He's working with right
Riverdale's is
Okay.
on the way.
Oh, she did? Alright.
Hi.
So 2 of the 3 GOHs will be here, and we will swap out. So whichever
Isn't that
judge you would like to be.
Hi.
Oh, Richard is not a, okay.
No, Richard's, I'm not a judge. I'm a MC.
No, Richard's not a GOH.
No, he's not a
Right.
GOH.
I'm right.
He's part of the GOH.
That would be an awesome year, I'll tell you what.
So, Richard,
Yes, sir.
well, you can read the directions since everyone else here knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got kind of the reference. So we're trying to tie in this year's theme in different ways, as well as information about the GOHs, and each GOH got to submit a quote or line that needed to be used within each writing. And then the judges are just looking for things that make them groan, laugh, cry, question their sanity, question the writer's sanity. You're just amazed at what they pulled off, you're confused by how they did it, but it makes sense type deal. So we'll try to have the submitters read it if they would like, otherwise one of us will read it for them if they would prefer not to read it themselves. Since we've got more attendees, which is great, than judges, the judges will then leave and confer, in whatever criteria we want to use, we will make our decision as to first, second, third places. We've got a lot of good submissions, so we'll probably have to get moving fairly smoothly. So, would anyone here want to volunteer to go first?
Well,
Right, and which was yours?
well, I'm reading too, but I'll start with mine, which is Tomorrowland, but not an epic tale. Just kidding.
And are we,
Okay.
oh, are we supposed to read our own? Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't have a copy of mine.
okay, when we get to
I
that.
gave you 5.
Alright, so Tomorrowland, but not an epic tale by Omega Theron. Who would like to read for us? I'm sorry, let the judges make sure they get theirs. Okay, yep. Judges ready? Alright.
Space, the final frontier. A grand, vast setting full of adventures and stories of magnitudes unknown. This is the story of innocent McNutt crime, framed for the space murder. This is impossible because he lives on Atlantis 2. Oh, also Atlantis 2 is a floating ocean and not space, which is why space murder is impossible. Anyways, sick of his unjust punishment, Innocent teamed up with his cellmate, Professor Spoutenpander, a genius scientist who, after taking too many internet pills, can only spot randomness and compliment fabulous people. Professor, we must escape. I know who killed Space and he might strike again, exclaimed Innocent. That sounds like something Trump would do. It's cheaper if you buy a dozen of them, shouted Spoutenpander. Yeah, we would need to distract the guards, and I think I know how. He went to the professor and pressed a button on his chest radio. By the way, the professor's cyborg animal. You choose the animal. It tuned to Rib-Nose's station, which played her awesome tunes. Her electronic music is only matched by her creative art and stories, yelled Spoutenpander as the steampunk guards danced to them, bursting into the cell. Innocent and the professor slipped out of the cell, leaving his chest radio behind. Stealthily, they sneak up to the guard checkpoint, which was a giant voice-activated door. Oh no, what do we do, Professor? Exclaimed Innocent. Here's something my wife can use in the house. An intrinsic incorporating an electron sorter. Ah yes, the note on the door, replied Innocent. He picked it up and read it. The password is as follows. In a redneck voice, son of a bitch, or what? Do not read this if a criminal. He threw the note down on the ground. I can't read this. Son of a bitch, he yokeled, opening the door. Oh, I guess it opens on its own. Must be defective. The duo snuck by the Kiefer model exhibit, which was a room full of both his work and paintings of him by Dragonis. Such amazing and unique characters can only be captured by the talented and handsome Dragonis, as well as their clever creator, yelled Spoutenpander. I agree, but we must keep going to the forbidden room, Innocent replied. After a bit more stealthy movements and close calls, they make it to the forbidden room, locked with a retinal scanning device. Remember the spider bot from Wild Wild West? That fits the theme, spouted Spoutenpander correctly. Yes, but I can get past this, grinned Innocent, pressing a button on the back of the professor's neck. This spit acid from his venom sacs. Oh, turns out he's a snake. If you imagine him otherwise, you're wrong. This melted the door, exposing the dark secret of the base. Innocent's destroy the universe button. He actually was the villain all along. I lied. Finally, I can finish my life goal. The end of all life, he laughed maniacally. AnthrOhio's the best con in existence, yelled Spoutenpander. Yes, it was, replied Innocent, pressing the button.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
Oh, my God.
Thank you.
Yeah, I should have asked you to get pens or something to write, take notes as we're doing things, we want to mark things up. And
Yeah, can I get a pen?
Oh,
I'm an artist. I don't have stuff like that.
I'm gonna go borrow one there.
I don't carry.
Oh,
Thank you.
So if you'd like to quickly make some notations, because we've got a lot of great submissions, so like I say, things that you want to make sure we review. Since we have more submissions than judges, we'll have the judges leave the room to confer and come back. So like I say, we'll have some notes when we make our criteria. So, who'd like to read second?
The most executive my friends who
Alright, and which is your friend?
Dr. Yeffington versus Communism, paid for by the For America Freedom Group.
Alright, so all judges have the paper ready? Alright.
Dr. Yeffington awoke to the color red. Ugh, communism again? He sighed. The stunningly handsome red, white, and blue wolf jumped from his bed, did a cool backflip, and landed directly into his cool shoes while really cool rock music was playing. I eat communism for Sunday brunch, he said, while saluting the flag, and also a single tear fell from his beautiful eyeball as he turned to look at you, the reader. He walked to his 20th story window and jumped. His butler ran to the window and screamed, "Sir, you forgot that the ground will kill you," the butler said with tears in his eyes and fear in his eyes and sadness in his eyes. "Ha ha, silly butler, you forgot this is the future." Yeffington laughed as his jet boots exploded to life. "I hate Mondays," said the butler, and his audience laughed. The sky was full of red. Dr. Yeffington gasped. "Gasp," he chuckled. "Dr. Yeffington, they are burning down the Freedom Store," said Kiefer. "Thanks, shameless cameo," Yeffington said with a smile. Yeffington jet boosted into the sky. "Evildoers, you shall not turn to ask the freedoms of the good people, legally distinct from Zootopia, city of Fertopia. Fool, we are the evil communism. We shall convert your freedom to the power of pure communism. Resistance is futile," said communism. The communism laughed. Yiffington stood tall. Suddenly, the beautiful and talented Ribnose, the Great Beautiful and talented Ribnose the Great rose from their slumber in the depths of Tartarus, and piloting their massive mega robot, they unleashed a storm of powerful electronic music. They began to play the American national anthem. Yiffington became empowered and began to give a speech. We shall not bend to the will of the evil communism. We must trust in our leader, Elephant King Donald Trump, and do what he would do. And what is that? Why, he would buy war bonds, of course. And remember, it's cheaper if you buy a dozen of them, he speaks with a wink. The communism fell from the sky, struck with the power of the speech. Good try, Dr. Yiffington, but we will have a trick up our Kremlin, said communism. Unleash Project Dragonus. Dragonus, as the name implied, is an evil robot mountain lion. Oh, son of a you, he said Yiffington while pointing at a female dog. The evil robot attacked, but the brave Yiffington used the power of his freedom to jump out of the way. Beep boop, Yiffington, you know you are no match for my evil inquisitor sorter, said Dragonus. Yiffington never faltered. He grabbed the American flag and drove it into the robot's death hole. The robots exploded and the flag waved brilliantly. Curses, but we shall return for your freedom, communism said. Dr. Yiffington looked at you, the reader. Communism has been purged from our city for another day, but every day the Red Panda menace marches ever closer to our freedom. Now our freedom is in your hands. Buy war bonds and listen to the Royal American Army. Join our brave boys in Unit E621. We need you. Protect our furry freedom from the threat of communism. Paid for by the Ronald Trump for America Freedom Fund.
And actually, I should phone Richard. Does anyone have the instructions with the 3 quotes on it? Specify exactly what ones.
There's 4 actually.
Oh.
Well, yes and no.
Well, yeah, we had 3 submissions. Oh, you got it? Okay. Yeah, another one, I think it's on the other side too. Or no, it's on the other sheet. You're missing one. Here's the other one.
So that's a quote.
And so, yeah, when those pop up, those are the ones I had to squeeze in there. And so, like, this one had a couple little variations, but they were fun variations too, so when you pick up on that too, so when you point at the female dog, so that's where that one came from too. So the creativity of how you work with that quote. I almost did a college comes in between some of these.
You're having too much fun.
Oh my God, you're gonna kill me.
So, anyone want to volunteer to go third?
I'll go
Or
first.
should we choose some pickups? Okay, so yours was the.
The one that begins, son of a bitch. Yes, I left it in. Son of a bitch, said Bubba as he gazed at the contraption in the exhibit. Here's something my wife could use in the house, an AnthrOhio incorporated in an electronic sorter. He was reading from the description plaque below the force field surrounding the contraption. Yes, replied tour guide Dave. You know what those are, correct? What? The 2 items that are combined in the obsolete item, in this obsolete item, the AnthrOhio and the electronic sorter. Nope. All I know is my wife could use one. Bubba had been awakened after 200 years of suspended animation where he had been basically forgotten until his vault was discovered during the demolition of an abandoned science lab below St. Olaf's College. Trying to get him acclimated to the future was proving challenging. What's that thing? Bubba said, referring to the object in the next exhibit. Oh, that's an experimental body hygiene bot. It would give you a shower, brush your teeth, style your hair, give you a shave, a manicure, all in a 10-minute operation. It was recalled when it began to malfunction. What, it would shower your teeth and give your hair a manicure and brush it? Yes, something like that. Each operation was separated into smaller, less expensive utensils that could do it all in less than a minute, with much more safety. Huh, that sounds like something Trump would do. It's cheaper if you buy them by the dozen. But if you buy a dozen of them, Dave looked at Bubba, not sure what to make of that. We better move on, Dave said. Dave took Bubba by the upper arm. Get your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape. Dave looked offended. Look, I know you think present facial fashion does indeed make us look like gorillas or cavemen, but as I said before, I'm just as human as you are. We're just more advanced here in this time. Oh yeah, prove it. You ain't got no flying cars, no teleport chambers, or even food pills. Sir, I told you the flying cars were found to be energy inefficient. Teleport chambers physically impossible at macroscopic levels, and food pills don't give the bulk your body needs. That doesn't prove anything. Still makes me wonder why if I'm really in the future. Bubba said using air quotes. I got a bad feeling about this. Look, if I were really an ape or an alien, I would say things like Klaatu Barada Nikto, wouldn't I? Yeah, you did. You just did. What does that mean anyway? I don't know. It's from an old movie. Oh yeah, which one? Dave felt quickly and snapped his fingers. The day the earth stood still. There. Does that prove I'm human? Nope. You could have mesmerized it. Excuse me, came a voice from behind Dave. The hoverbot spoke as he continued. But Mr. Bubba is needed in the biopsy lab. Yes, said Dave. I was just getting in there. Could you give us a few more minutes? I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. Biopsy lab. Hey, I know what that is. I saw it on them cop shows. I'm not dead. No, we're just going to take small tissue samples from different spots of your body. Your suspended animation has us wondering how it was managed. Tissue samples? You're turning me into Soylent Green? No, you won't feel a thing. Yeah, that's what my dentist said too. Dave sighed. Well, tell you, afterwards you can have all the beer sample that you want. Beer? You got beer? Yes, you can have all you want after the biopsy. Well, let's go then. Hoo-hee, I'm going to get myself into such a bender. We don't make beer with alcohol anymore. It's not energy efficient. Oh, crap. Send me back to the past. You got time machines now, right? No, another impossibility. Well, that's just great. Game over, man. Game over. Count the movie quotes that are in there. I had to
How
fit,
you work them into.
I had to fit in. I've got a bad feeling about this.
It's fun the different aspects people concentrated on and worked on. And
Yes.
of course, I like that.
This is gonna kill me.
I always love this panel.
So, briefly,
Yes.
the AnthrOhio panel at AnthrOhio, I heard it once described as a competition to make people who do not normally drink get bogged.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. Who would like to go for it? Would you like to? So which was yours?
Mine is the HMAS Dauntless.
That's one of the smaller type from the way I figured it out.
So it's supposed to be, there's 10 foot, and I double checked it on one
Yeah.
side.
It's just a small one.
Sometimes it's the font, no, so I think it was a PDF and then I think the way I printed it through Google Docs or something.
So we should have said,
Whatever is fine. Yeah, we're fine. So everyone have it? Okay.
Commander Horatio stood on the bridge of His Majesty's airship HMAS Dauntless. The deck quivered beneath his paws as the mighty dirigible clawed its way up to 14,000 feet. It was 2:30 a.m., but the vessel was as bright as the sun, as 18 enormous alcohol burners blazed to provide the need for the hot air dirigible to fly. Inside the flame tube of each burner was a small Stirling heat engine. The tiny engine siphoned off part of the heat to provide power to electrical generator sets. This power provided the power for the electric motors which turned the giant windmill propeller blades and drove the mighty airship forward. Commander Horatio turned and called over his shoulder to the ship's pilot. Pilot, give the ETA to checkpoint Bravo. The mechanical pilot, with fire of its own alcohol burner flame glowing through the glass viewport in its belly, answered in its cold, emotionless mechanical voice. ETA to checkpoint Bravo is at the mark. 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Mark! The pilot then compensated for a wind gust by using his mighty steam-powered arms to turn the ship's wheel 3 degrees starboard. The pilot's built-in gyro compasses and velocimeters fed information to his mechanical calculator brain instantly and made moment-by-moment adjustments. Commander Horatio was a true gray muzzle fox. He joined the Air Service in the very early days, when they were first experimenting with flight. Before dirigibles, before blimps, back when hot air balloons were made from rice paper coated in coal oil sealant and 75% of the flights resulted in death of one or more of the air crew. He had survived the fury crashes, the terrified country folk who thought he was a demon being cast out of heaven, and the rest of His Majesty's military calling the air service a waste of gold and lives. He and others like him had dragged civilization forward, step by halting step, usually by the scruff of the neck, until they had brought it into the age of limitless possibilities. The 19th century promised to be a world of wonder and achievement. Even though he had been one of the pioneers of the scientific world, Commander Horatio still felt a sense of wonder whenever he looked around at the civilization he had helped forge. Flying machines, steam trains, electric lights, indoor plumbing, food in tin cans, and the end of bubonic plague. In his own home, he had a multi-line telephone system. On the first line, you could send and receive calls. On the second, you could listen to a live symphony playing downtown any time of the day or night. On the third line was popular music, and the fourth was continuous news and weather reports. Oh, to live in this golden age of technological advancement. Soon, mechanical servants such as the ship's pilot would relieve all of society of the burdens of manual labor. Commander Horatio often felt himself feeling as though he were a character in a story by H.G. Wells. Commander Horatio did not have more than a few moments to dwell on these thoughts. He had important business at hand. He called to his first officer, "Lieutenant Nemo, prepare the ship for silent running." The lieutenant, a serious, no-nonsense weasel, replied, "Aye, aye, sir," and immediately scrambled to carry out the order. A few moments later, Lieutenant Nemo reported, "Ship rigged for silent running at your command, sir." The commander replied, "Very good, Lieutenant. Now, pilot, start an audible countdown to our arrival at checkpoint Bravo." Pilot announced starting audible countdown, 15 seconds, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. At 10 seconds, commander ordered, "All hands, run silent, run dark." Instantly, all 18 alcohol burners were extinguished. This stopped the renewal of the lift, giving hot air in the balloon envelopes and cut off the supply of electricity to the electric propellers and lights. The first officer drew the blackout shutter over the pilot's flame view port. Commander ordered the pilot, "Maintain course towards checkpoint Charlie, engage a 3-degree download." The giant airship now started to control fall out of the sky. About the lift of the hot air envelopes, gravity was pulling the ship down. By maintaining the nose of the ship at a 3-degree downward angle, the ship glided 3 feet forward for every foot it fell. In moments, they had crossed the mountain peak and were now rushing headlong toward the enemy to attack and destroy them. The giant ship was dark and silent, completely invisible to those on the ground. The situation was grim. The army of the Eastern Kingdom had invaded the Empire. A force of 50 giant flying fire lizards had flown across the mountain border and landed just before dusk on a small plateau just a few miles from the capital of the Empire. Each flying lizard was the size of a 3-masted schooner and carried close to 250 combat troops. The Emperor had expected the invasion and moved his entire army to the coast where the Eastern Kingdom had always invaded. Everyone knew the Eastern Kingdom possessed flying fire lizards and used them in war, but they had never been used as troop transports, and no one had ever seen more than 3 or 4 of the lizards in one place at the same time. The arrival of 50 of the beasts, carrying almost 12,500 of the hideously ugly naked apes that populated the Eastern Kingdom, had sent shockwaves to the Empire. The army was quick marching back to engage the enemy, but the capital would be completely burned and pillaged before the army could retreat. A call had been sent to the Empire's allies in the west asking for help. They had immediately responded, but their forces couldn't reach the city until 3 days after return of the army. Thus a desperate plan was hatched. Commander Horatio would lead a daring airborne strike at night against the army of the Kingdom of the East. The HMAS Dauntless would lead a flight of 5 dirigibles behind the enemy, cross the mountain, and strike while the enemy was preparing for the pre-dawn march on the capital. The HMAS Dauntless would drop 50 wingsuiters who would glide in and launch poison-tipped harpoons at the flying fire lizards. Immediately afterwards, the remaining 4 dirigibles would carpet bomb the plateau incendiaries. Once on the ground, the wingsuiters would form a blocking force between the enemy and the capital. They could only hold for a few hours. They would be relieved by the elite electrical velocipede troopers. These troopers were a high-speed, quick-reaction force who rode electrical velocipedes equipped with various suppression weapons. Everything depended on surprise and clockwork timing. The wingsuiters would be led to their target by a pathfinder. The pathfinder was a fox bat. She would seek out the enemy in utter darkness using her natural echo-sounding sonar. She wore a headband with a large glass bulb with electrically stimulated firefly luminosity. 50 wingsuiters would follow her down to the ground with the light as a beacon. Commander Horatio worried about the Pathfinder more than any other individual in the operation. She was his niece, and he could not imagine having to tell his brother and his sister-in-law of the loss of their only cub. Ensign Ribnose had followed in the path of her father and uncles, blazing new trails, doing what had not been done before. However, she had expanded even further outward than her elders. Upon discovering that telephone lines could be manipulated to create sounds other than those being recorded and transmitted, she researched and developed a new method of music, electronic music. Besides being a groundbreaking musician, she was also an accomplished visual artist and designer extraordinaire of costumes for performances. A truly gifted individual, her loss would not only be tragic to her family, but to the cultured civilization as a whole. As they approached Checkpoint Charlie, order was whispered down the line, prepare for drop. Ensign Ribnose would be the first out of the ridge boat, then two at a time the wingsuiters would jump, one out of the port hatch, one out of the starboard hatch. Each line of 25 would run out of the hatch, one behind the other. They were different from Ensign Ribnose. She had natural wings. Wingsuiters had folding wings made of silk and bamboo wood. These wings were based on the design of the great genius Leonardo da Vinci. Ensign Ribnose could fly. All the others could only glide. The wingsuiters were made up of almost every known species. In wingsuiting, your body type does not matter. It is your guts and determination that matter. As Ensign Ribnose made her way to the hatch, she commented, I'll never understand how that creep rose to power in the Eastern Kingdom. Commander Horatio replied, he bought the loyalty of a bunch of generals. Ensign Ribnose answered, that sounds like something Trump would do. The count reached down to 0, and the commander ordered, drop, drop, drop. Ensign Ribnose leaped into the night air, followed by 50 wingsuiters. Unlike the ensign, they were flying blind, the only light being the luminous bulb strapped to her head. They had been trained for this moment. As they exited the hatch, they started to sing a little ditty. The end of the first verse told them they had to extend their wings, since they should now be far enough apart to not get tangled with each other. The end of the second verse meant they should see and line up with the Pathfinder. If they weren't, they were in serious trouble. The ditty strangely sounds like a song we might call Dixie. It went, away down south in the land of furries, good times there are not forgotten. Drink away, drink away, drink away, furry land. The second verse was, I'm proud to be a furry, hooray, hooray. In furry land I'll make my stand to live or die as a furry. Drink away, drink away, drink away down south in furry land. All the wingsuiters extended their wings without incident, found the Pathfinder speaking, and followed her down in battle. 51 furries against 12,500 naked apes. Commander Horatio held his breath as he slowly counted to 10 and yelled, fire all flares, maximum burn, maximum power, emergency speed forward. 100 rocket-powered magnesium illumination flares were launched from the front sides of the dirigible, lighting up the night sky like an early dawn. All 18 alcohol burners were relit and turned to the highest setting for maximum heat and lift. The electric propellers were spun up to full speed by battery power until the Stirling heat engines could wind up and bring the electrical generators to full power. The plan was that the flares would provide the wingsuiters the light they needed to find the individual flying fire lizards in a second before they struck. Down on the ground, the enemy troopers and lizards were in tight formation. General Draconus was reviewing his troops. The mountain lion was dressed in camouflage and drinking his third beer of the morning. His aide walked up to him, saluted, and says, General, our troops found this in one of the farmhouses we searched on arrival. General Draconus took the device and said, here's something my wife could use in the house. And near her sight, her incorporating an electron sorter. The aide puzzled for a moment and said, how do you think these creatures obtained such an expensive item? The general's response was drowned out by the roar of the army. Major Kiefer was firing up the troops for the upcoming battle. He was chanting, what are we going to do? The response was, loot them! Colonel yelled, I can't hear you. The troops yelled louder, loot them! The colonel was an old retired printer who found a second career motivating naked apes to raise hell. He was about to start another chant when the sky lit up like dawn. Major Kiefer turned his eyes skywards and his natural redneck voice says, son of a bitch. Ensign Ribnose and her 50 wingsuiters swept over the formation, firing their poison harpoons. 50 flying fire lizards died. Less than half a minute later, 4 dirigibles dropped their loads of incendiary carpet, bombing the formation, raining well-deserved death on the invaders. The ensign and the wingsuiters landed midway between the capital and enemy formation and set up a blocking force, but it was not needed. Any who survived the incendiaries ran, and not towards the capital. The Empire had no further trouble with the Eastern Kingdom for the next 100 years. The end.
So dashing in that one.
Yeah, I love seeing how they work with the quotes.
Chronicles. So yeah, word limit, that would be the
Yes.
preferred approach.
So we have 2 left.
I can go if I get a copy. I think
Which was yours?
I had 5 copies, so there's 4 people up there judging, I think. So.
Which was yours? Yours was
The Wages of War, yes. I apologize in advance for this, by the way. This is what happens when I don't write the scripts for the variety show for 2 years in a row. This is also my first crack fic, and I didn't know hardly anything about Ribnose when I started writing this, so I'm sorry, Ribnose. You're more of a
okay.
pun than an actual hero.
All right.
Can't compete with the previous one.
I can be fun.
Okay. The Wages of War, $5.99 in the bargain bin. Will supplies last? Author's note, this might be a trick question. Trick question, this might. Okay. Hidden in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter lay the USS Kiefer, a vessel so old it should have been decommissioned years ago. Ranking crew member and honorary Florida Panther General Calamity sat in his office reading his daily briefs on the war between the Earther furries and even Martian patrols, but mostly for the neat advertisements. Ooh, here's something my wife could use around the house, an interocitor incorporating an electron sorter. Too bad houses don't exist in the future, he moaned aloud in despair, out loud. The future which is now, because I am in space. The door knocker on the outside of Calamity's cabin made a firm yet pleasing sound, like a horse clopping itself. Door knocker technology had improved greatly over the past century. Please, please come inside, squealed the general. The door opened, and in strode a Scottish terrier that General Calamity hadn't recalled laying eyes on before, or any other part of his body. However, Calamity was prone to very mysterious blackouts in the morning, so he couldn't be certain. I've been asked to meet with you, sir, barked into the terrier. I'm your new crew member, Parts. Private Parts. He reached out his paw, and the general shook it. Calamity gripped his private parts with a firm but yielding stroke. Excellent! I was wondering when I would finally get to see private parts in my office. Thank you for coming so quickly. It was my pleasure, sir, said Private Parts. I came on a helium balloon, and I'd be happy to come again. Ah, yes, balloons are the top drawer of space travel. So then, where did you come from? Squirted General Calamity. Uranus, sir. You knew this was coming. I came just this morning directly from Uranus. Private Parts wiggled all squirmy in place, right over there. Calamity's eyes widened to the size of Jupiter, the planet. My word, I didn't know it was possible to come from there. Well, obviously it wasn't inside of Uranus that I came, sir. That wouldn't be safe, cautioned the private with a finger. That's a relief. I hope I'd at least remember that from my debriefing, even if I haven't learned much about Private Parts yet. Wait, how do you know so much about my whistled Calamity? Wait, no, scratch that. I don't want to know. Oh, please, sir, don't scratch Uranus, pleaded the private, falling to his knees, which was comfortable for privates. Uranus is too beautiful and mysterious to ignore. For example, do you know where the rings of Uranus come from? The general paled, which was impressive given all the fur. Sweet, merciful Asimov, I do not, he blarged. Well, sir, the rings around Uranus are made of dirty organic compounds that seep out of the place I came. Helpfully informed the helpfully informative private, which is one of Uranus's orbiting bodies, Puck. By the way, this is all accurate. Interesting. You came from Puck? Asked the general, narrowing his eyes to the level of a Chinese microaggression. Yes, sir. Just this morning I came from Puck around Uranus. Have you forgotten all of this? Ejaculated Private Parts. I'm afraid so, Private, but that settles it. I need to stop hitting the space whiskey every morning when I wake up. Don't worry, sir. I can tell you all about it. As Puck circles Uranus, the organic material coming out of Puck collects into large, dirty rings around Uranus. Over time, these massive rings slowly spiral into Uranus, said the private with a smug, ring-eating grin. Eventually, all the Puck material around Uranus ends up deep inside of Uranus. But the cycle continues, so there are always filthy rings around Uranus. Puck slowly oozes into Uranus. It's happening even now. Son of a bitch, he replied in a redneck voice, in accordance with the treaty of fuck you stupid rules, seriously. Yes, sir, I am. Yes, sir, I am, said Private Parts, his face beaming with pride and lasers, because he was a dog. Get it? Never mind. The general stood widely. Private Parts let us never speak of this again, and scheduled me an appointment with sick bay. The private saluted like a toy soldier, if a toy soldier were a private dog space person guide. Aye, aye, sir. The brown one, of course. Follow my lead to the bridge. The pair stepped outside the door and onto the bridge. The general's officers, also dogs, were already on the bridge dangling loogies. Sir, they all screamed in unison. What's the latest news of the war, Sergeant Pepper? And what is that odd thing balanced on your nose? The trolls have taken Space Station Draconis, and it's a rib, she replied. I haven't been told I can chomp it yet. Ridiculous, ridiculous, growled the general. Stupid dogs and their weird boners, he thought, his brain cells pulsating with the intensity of a million suns. I'm not going to buy that excuse, Sergeant Pepper, came the words, vibrating with angst. It's cheaper if you buy a dozen of them, she insisted, as her tail wagged her. The savings of more than 20 space dollars. The general looked impressed, even embossed. Those are some good rates. Now, crew, I'd like to introduce you to my new Private Parts. Come say hello, and please promise not to report me this time. The crew's faces were vast and overt. Then all the canines started sniffing under Private Part's tail, and the general rolled his eyes, muzzle, kitty tail, and spleen in inebriated disdain. My entire crew has gone to the dogs, he howled, and then the dogs did too. It was fun. Sir, this is a howling good time, but we should really debrief Private Parts now, said a character I didn't bother to name. Lieutenant Muzzleboot, please debrief Private Parts and give us all the details, Calamity ordered with a side of fries. Muzzleboot gasp-asmed, ovulating in place. It's Lieutenant Mr. Muzzleboom, sir, she sternly corrected, using an entire tube of whiteout in the process. All right then, I hate to debrief Private Parts for this, but the space war in space with the Martian trolls is going very super awful bad double plus ungood. We furries have sustained major butthurt casualties. Golly jinkies, wowzers, snarf, what are the trolls like? Asked the stupid private, his head gyrating in blind wonderment. Hideous, Muzzleboot gagged, and she just kept saying, excuse me, let me start. Hideous, Muzzleboot gagged, and she just kept on saying words. Orange skin, sunken eyes, long, thin, neon-colored hair swooping around to hide a mostly bald head, and stubby little fingers which you should never pull. They assault women while making ugly faces with their ugly faces. And they always lie, especially when they say that they are lying. Muzzleboot took an encapsulated breath, because that was a lot of text. The huge king troll is the first of them all. He's currently trying to build a wall around Mars from the ground up. So far, the solution eludes his brainium. That sounds like something the king troll would do, said Calamity, fulfilling the final stupid Iron Author requirement. Sir, what about the little ponies from Venus? The trolls can't get to them and they live in a paradise. Couldn't we go live with them? Asked some pony. The other dog stared at the general as though he were a phonograph, but he wasn't really. Unacceptable. Ponies are for little girls, he vomited up into the space sky. They're not even furry. In parentheses, he was jelly. Muzzleboot and Pepper both rolled their eyes like a bitch. Then those two girl dogs totally did it, doggy style. The end.
Aw, yeah. I like that resolution. ties everything together.
Again, very sorry. No, I'm not.
What a thing to walk in on.
So actually, I think that was the last that you said, right? Or did it? No. What's the last one? Oh, this one here. Okay. So I had.
Can I get the
slash
flash?
letters?
Something that would be really cool, seeing how well attended this is and how many writings I see, it'd be really cool if you guys did like a script, you know. I wouldn't say your word. Something.
If you heard the others, you would have repeated that for each of you, I'm sure.
Something we could see actually acted out. Because the script is actually pretty similar to what you've written. You just, you know, put it in different forms. And something I never know get going at a con, but with so many creative people here, yourself included, that I'm sure you guys can come up with something really interesting. It'd be great to have that in the variety show.
That's actually what we used to do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did it for 13 years and then I gave up last year and
Short film had brainstorming. Had some good parts, but yeah, we need to reformat how we do it.
yeah, I did
Structure that more.
I did the musical number, but that was the only one.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
I think they're available. So like someone has copies of all the FVSs.
Anna was in charge of organizing all that. All right, so the.
Awesome.
So
Did you record that?
Yeah. It's yours? Okay.
Don't post it, please.
So our
Hopefully your
sixth and final
memory gets
entry
corrupted.
in this wonderful, beautiful contest.
A new age futuristic retro setting and some characters in it doing things.
Yes.
By Mongu. Once in the present day, as told from a time about 20 to 50 years ago, there was an anthropomorph gold bean in a back alley with their friends. They were sitting on bundles of laser discs and CDs because most of their trash had been engineered to self-clean. So dirty back alleys were actually pretty clean, except for hundreds and hundreds of megabytes worth of data on the discs that businesses had to recycle because of regulations stating that back alleys had to have some clutter, and bundles of discs looked cool. The vixen, mentioned in the previous paragraph, you need to pay more attention, readers, was watching TV. Was watching her TV watch plugged into her data jack port for added realism. One of her friends, Darwin the dolphin, swam up to her in the suspended water field. Maddie McGlide, friend, go cafe, Darwin said to his token teen genius creating speech box. I'm not hungry, she replied. Space burgers, rocket fries, Pepsi perfect. Maddie sighed exasperatedly. Fine. She unplugged her data jack and they walked toward the square of Valley Hill. But when they were out on the street, a flying car that looked like a Corvette Stingray with half the passenger compartment cut off almost landed on them. They dove out of the way, except Darwin didn't because he's a dolphin in a water bubble, so he just kind of echolocated the danger and didn't get close. Maddie's cybernetic grafts in her claws allowed her to avoid the danger with easily, precisely adverb usage. Maddie was about to get angry, but she saw an artist drawing cute mice. They looked like they were from old things called cartoons. People didn't watch cartoons anymore because federal regulations determined that all forms of entertainment not related to still images of neutral colors was too violent. I like your pictures, Maddie told her. Thank you, the artist replied. My name is Ribnose, but according to my bio on the AnthrOhio website, I have many other names. And I don't draw more anymore, so don't ask. But poor arts is best arts, Maddie pointed out factually. Do you do commissions? My wife could really use a picture of an intrasizer incorporating an electron sorter in the house. Of course, it's 5 million new yen for a line sketch because inflation by 2017 means everything will cost a lot more. That's too much. You should do it for free and I'll post it online and you'll get tons of exposure. Please tell me I have lasers or something. Then Ribnose shot Maddie with a teleportation ray that artists invented to stop the exposure problem. When Maddie awoke, she was in a strange place where she was surrounded by people in big, bulky suits that resembled humans, but others were anthropomorphs like her. One human suit looked at her. He had an unusual tan and head fur, known as hair in the Humany fandom, and said, I love travelers from the alternate dimensions. Terrific. But they're not sending us their best. I will build a wall to keep him out. That sounds like something Trump would say, commented a Steve Martin suitor. Walls are cheaper by the dozen. Alt reality retro futureverse will pay for it. It was then her bionic implant short-circuited and she teleported again using residual tachyons that are present in everything according to some science stuff, and she was back home. Rhythmos was gone, which made her happy because she was sure that there would be bodily harm if the artist was still around. Maddie, new friends, Darwin said, pointed his flipper at three shady-looking characters. They introduced themselves in alphabetical order as required by the Hall of Morality. Hello, I'm Draconis, said the first. Hattie, I'm Gidging Gray, said the second. And I'm Kiefer, said the final one said. We're on our way to set up a convention, Draconis said. The theme is contemporary pastism, Kiefer added. What? Gidgen said as he scratched his head. No, I was just looking to make some pies. See, I used to be an aggressive predator with killer instinct in my dunna, but I evolved and now I live in a utopia where everyone gets along. This is heavy, Maddie said. I think I'm going to go to the cafe and play that awesome retro game, Wild Gunman. You have to use your paws, but I'm a crack shot. So they all went to the cafe and the little children made fun of Maddie for playing with a baby's toy. The end.
Thanks for the wonderful submissions. So the judges want to gather your notes, and I think we'll go to the board gaming room. We should be able to find a table there to sit around and discuss and come up with whatever method we want to announce first, second, third prizes. We will return. Those may berate each other for subjecting some things away from here, and the camera will record done to one another in your absence.
You guys are number one.
Peace, okay, peace.
Wouldn't a peace sign be more like this?
That's cheap. That's cheap.
I gave him the peace sign. What do you want?
Oh my God.
Peace, you know what they say, peace on you.
I don't know if I want to give that a chance.
Ooh,
There you go.
you're not gonna give peace a chance?
No.
Hey, I use both fingers.
You may have fun.
If you perceive the difference, that's your problem.
Uh-oh.
So this
Or are they
kind of
bad
comes
books?
from so
Oh, yes.
there's off of that road. It came. It was a dark and stormy night, and there's a contest to write the worst opening line for a non-existent novel.
Oh, yeah.
So those are the collections. That's what I'm giving as prizes. So as we're doing our judging, you guys can read those. If someone would like to read them aloud to the group or whatever, have fun. They've got indexed with different groups.
There you go.
Gidgen Gray.
Gideon Gray. Bride of Dark and Stormy, Dark and Stormy rides again, son of
Here you
It Was
go
a Dark
with
and
my
Stormy
dancing.
Night.
And they had that thing in there, it says, they like stuff that makes you question their sanity. I question their sanity.
There's no question.
There's no question.
No. No.
Oh, dear.
Kablam! And all Marvin's ingenious plans went up in smoke, as did Marvin himself, in that terrible moment when he learned you can't send a letter bomb by email. Shall I continue?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh boy, there could be some great ones in here.
Pass me one of the books and I'll try to find one while you're looking for one I can read.
Proud were the firm, upright breasts, flaring nostrils, and sinewy forearms of Alexandra Keller, though she was no relation to Helen, as she was quick to point out to everybody.
Can people watch my stuff briefly? I just want to stick some of it. I'm gonna put stuff in my okay.
Oh, here's that one. The notes glided skyward as the sun rose over the Canada geese, feathered rumps mooning the day, webbed appendages frantically pedaling unseen bicycles in their search for sustenance, driven by cruel nature's maxim, you want to eat, you gotta work, and at last I knew Pittsburgh.
It was a big, brave, blue, and beautiful morning, Happy Harry Hedgehog decided, as he prepared to waddle purposefully, slowly, and fatefully across the 4 lanes of the busy interstate, from a child's garden of roadkill. I was born penniless. My diapers had no pockets.
What? That was bad.
That's the point!
The sun rose slowly like a fiery fur ball, coughed up uneasily onto a sky blue carpet by a giant unseen cat.
The surface of the strange, forbidden planet was roughly textured and green, much like cottage cheese gets way after the date on the lid says it's all right to buy it.
He was, in a way, not unlike the car he drove, small, homely, and gutless. But like that car, an early model Pinto, he had a latent tendency, when pushed too far or driven too hard, to explode.
In retrospect, we decided that the nuclear winter was not so bad, but that we had not really enjoyed the brief but intense nuclear summer that had preceded it.
With the sickening thud that a cloth sack filled with rabbit entrails makes when colliding with a concrete wall, the sack of rabbit entrails smashed into the wall behind me.
Oh dear. This is going to be a tough one to say aloud.
Yeah.
Best not pester Mr. Buster's sister Hester, blast her, lest her blisters fester, rasped our flustered pastor. Okay, done. That was a good one.
It didn't matter to Gordon that he couldn't outrun the enraged Mother Grizzly. All he had to do was outdistance his chubby hiking partner, Fred. Based on our old show. Well, old Bean, looks like we're done for this time, said famous explorer Reginald Fosworth, with a stiff upper lip, a childhood affliction that had proved particularly embarrassing when kissing girls or playing the French horn. When I walked into the room and saw the twisted dead corpse lying lifeless on the blood-soaked carpet, I wanted and needed to cry in the worst sort of way, but couldn't, a sort of lacrimal constipation. So I lightly stepped over the body with its gruesome repose and walked over to the desk to play with the adding machine until help arrived. When I found Napoleon, our new butler, on release from St. Hadis Druthers, the asylum for the criminally insane, standing over Uncle Nelson's dead body and holding a bloody knife in one hand and a smoking gun in the other, I shrieked, "Who did it?" Cletus had an uneasy feeling about eating at a joint called the Roadkill Cafe, but he was hungry and still miles from Memphis, so he swung his weary gun to the gravel lot beneath the glowing red neon possum. Ernest Hemingway had been his hero ever since he was belched out of his mother's angry, belligerent womb.
I think there might have been an adjective in there, therefore not Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, you've read this before?
No, I'm just saying, Ernest Hemingway. No
Okay.
adjective, no adverbs, at least as few as possible.
Peebo the cat washed his fur in the warm sunlight that streamed through the window, thinking to himself as he licked his soiled paws, "Why, it's not so bad having a baby in the house," and then coughed up a hairball and a bit of a rattle.
For sale, baby shoes, digested.
Yes.
Partially digested. Gonna keep the 6 words.
Darnell Duck, the rodent, shriekily as he triggered his .38, filled the air with soft white feathers, the odor of fresh blood and gunpowder, ruining a perfectly good sailor suit. If you can guess who the rodent and the duck were. As a bunny, Oscar realized his career options were severely limited to eating grass and reproducing, but he would not abandon his dreams of medical school. Firmly, almost indignantly, Ford erstwhile straightened his toupee and checked his lapels for stray specks of lint as he stood in front of the firmly closed mahogany door and again rehearsed his request for a legal hat all his own.
That might have meant apartment. That might have meant apartment. Legal ad.
It says legal.
Yeah. That's what I would guess.
I think that he's talking about it as a law firm. Everybody else Winifred slammed the ornate French doors of her penthouse apartment, stamped her rose-peaked heels across the marble foyer to a mirrored bedroom, where she collapsed onto the pink satin coverlet and thought that life on the streets was too dangerous, and perhaps being called Miss Winifred by a room full of kindergartners was not all that bad. I love the way you touch me, but I hate the way you look, she said in a petulant, erotic voice. Anne stirred the cheese souffle furiously, wishing it were Jared's guts. Although Sarah had an abnormal fear of mice, it did not keep her from eking out a living at a local pet store. That's terrible. Oh! As a scientist, Throckmorton knew that if he were ever to break wind in the sound chamber, he would never hear the end of it.
Oh, Lord.
That's not a bad
I was hoping I'd lock the door behind us so we couldn't come back and see your awful, horrendous faces again that made us suffer.
Sorry.
But the door was unlocked, so we were able to return.
Save this chapter.
We were in your front
Oh, the chapter where they have the puns.
Yes. I haven't skipped much, but yeah, there's some.
I want to save. I'm on a
lot of tablecloth on this side.
Yeah,
on Telegram. That's all we do.
I need it because I'm a mess. So,
I love that channel because if you're ever in a bad mood, you go to that channel and you cannot leave that channel in a bad mood.
I don't know about that.
So,
Make me grown quick.
Well, yes, but
Absolutely all these had some wonderful points. There were quotes and references that were very creative, a lot of fun. Definitely bad droners, things that made us not like you so much. So, like I said, there was a lot of discussion, a lot of great things. But like I said, we'll go get to the winners. So, third place winner is Max Goof with Son of a Bitch. Love all your references. You pulled out so many different movies and things.
We just call it Son of a Bitch for
Yeah,
short.
yeah, that's Blender, Futurama. Yeah, you've done a lot of research, or you just have a lot of knowledge, and
I did research.
yeah, definitely enjoyed the genre. So it's fantastic. Always like to see you take part in this.
Yeah.
Your writing skills, creativity.
remember these are about bad writing skills.
Yes.
Remember that these are about bad writing skills.
Well,
So
it takes craftsmanship to write badly.
I know.
Well,
Yeah.
so.
I keep telling myself that.
Then second place is Tomorrowland, but not Epic Tale by Mega Florian. So that was again just the electronic music. My brain's still mush from everything else as well, so I'm just gonna stumble. But if our judges also would like to say anything about these as we go through them, but
We had a lot of trouble deliberating.
Yeah.
They were all good.
then
Of course, the only part I have with for Tomorrowland is the thing about the talented and handsome Draconis. I just don't completely.
our first place winner, if we can consider a winner, first place of disgrace is Dr. Gifton versus Communism, paid for by American Freedom.
That dishonor is yours.
Our prizes are the 3 books, so if we let the first place choose first out of the 3, second place choose second, third place choose third.
First place winner isn't here, right?
Yeah.
So,
Actually,
it'd be
he's asking
like
how
two.
it's going, so.
You won first place.
Going well for you.
I'll take whatever one is left.
By the look of it, I would say probably us.
And hopefully you all had fun.
Okay.
And we're also still able to
I won
enjoy
one.
the rest of the con
One of
just
these
and
books.
focus on this,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'd love to see everyone return, spread the word. We would
Those
definitely like to put these on our website, and also probably our con book next year, so people can see that, okay, I can write just as badly as that. I think I can take part in this. If Max Reeves submitted that, boy, I can manage that.
I just want to say I've had immense amounts of fun doing this.
And I got
So thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for all of everybody.
And
Yeah.
I appreciate your comments, I've jotted them down already about the number of words.
Yes.
And, oh, you told me about the names,
Yeah.
should we include, or not, how to handle that?
Also write down the number of copies.
Yeah.
Well, at first I didn't know how many
There were a lot of
page,
research on
page,
that.
so.
Yes, I
don't
I
wanna
spent a
know
very
how
long
much
time
shit-
I spent a long time yesterday researching Uranus Keeper.
You asked for that one.
I wanted to make sure everything I put in this story about Uranus was accurate.
It's a very deep subject.
Those who, those who do not email me a copy, if you wouldn't mind emailing it to me, that'll make it easier for you to transpose into website later on. Otherwise, I can do text
Any particular
capture.
format?
Any format will be fine. Otherwise, like I said, I can scan it, do OCR.
Oh, that's it, they're loving it.
Yeah, we would like to get these out for other people to suffer as well.
I should get on going.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
It's a subject I don't really want to expand upon.